We see you getting after your fitness goals. But what about those money goals? You can count on Credit Karma for a clear view of your finances and your progress, helping you see results so you can keep checking off those financial personal bests and find your way to money. Progress never felt so good. Download the Intuit Credit Karma app and start achieving your money goals today. Intuit Credit Karma. Karma you can count on.
You look amazing. Hello, everybody, and welcome to When Reality Hits with Jackson Brittany. This week we have the stud of the sea, Captain Lee.
Hey, Captain Lee. How's it going? Long time no talk. How you doing, buddy?
It has been a while, hasn't it, Jax?
It has.
The last time you and I had a conversation, it was either at...
I know what you're going to say.
It was either Watch What Happens Live
or
it was at the commercial we did with Chrissy Teigen and
that's
John.
Right. Chrissy Teigen and John Legend's house. That was a fun day.
Yeah. They said, come on, you have to, they called us, the directors called us, and they said, you got to do this thing with Jax. And they took us into a spare room, and we're in there doing the thing with Jax, and John had just gotten home. And while we're in there doing our thing, whatever it was they wanted done, John sits down to the piano and bangs out 2 or 3 tunes while we're in there shooting.
I know.
And we come out and he stops.
I know.
So you didn't even get to watch him live?
Nothing.
No.
We just got to hear everybody else swoon and croon.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And we had to do the dirty work. How's your health right now, by the way?
Yeah, how are you feeling?
Everything good?
Hey, yeah.
He said he just left the gym, so...
Well, I mean, yes, I know, but we were watching our show, and we were just making sure. We're just checking up on your health. Want to make sure you're doing good. Going to the gym is a great sign. Glad to hear
my
it.
My leg is making progress every day.
Very good.
So, am I going to run a marathon anytime soon? No. I got a surprise for you. I was never going to run a marathon.
So where are you located right now? Where are you based out of?
Fort Lauderdale.
Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
I love Fort Lauderdale.
I'm so jealous of where you are, but I make this very well known that Florida is my favorite place on earth. I've been all over the world, and I'm very fortunate to travel all over the world. But Florida, there's something about Florida. I just love it. I love the smell of the mangoes. I love the smell of, as soon as you get off the plane, you smell Florida. I love that salty air. And I told Brittany one of these freaking days we are going to move there. I'm not sure when or how, but we are going to move there one of these days.
But you are literally a captain of these big, huge, beautiful yachts. You've been a captain for, 38 years now? Is that correct?
Thereabouts. I really don't remember.
Around 38 years. You were on 10 seasons.
I started when I was 35, and I'm... Yeah.
Wow.
38 years. 38. You started when you were 35.
Wow. You've had 10 seasons on Bravo's Below Deck. We're hearing rumors that you might not come back. Is that true? Or are you thinking maybe?
That's above my pay grade. If they asked me to come back, I would.
Oh, yeah?
Okay. I was wondering because I saw these rumors, but now I see that you're in the gym. You're feeling good, so...
Rumors of my retirement have been highly exaggerated.
I'll get it. Trust me, we get it. We heard a rumor 2 days ago that we were pregnant again. They reused our photos from our first ultrasound and reused them again. So we know how the rumor mill works.
We also got divorced.
Amazing how they just make shit up?
Yeah.
And it's just, and we're supposed to be okay with it.
Print it.
It's printed. And it's like, how is that? I don't know how that's legal. I don't know how they can get away with it, but we're just supposed to be okay with it. And it's just like, well, there's news to me.
It's called clickbait. They just want everybody to be able to click it and read everything thinking that it's going to be true. Definitely not true. Well, that's good to hear that you might be coming back because I was definitely thinking that it wasn't going to be like that.
If I were invited, I would go back. Whether they're going to invite me back or not, that's up to them.
Hey, you're the OG. You started this off, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
And everyone loves your one-liners. I hear that you are just the one-liner king. Jax is not very good at his. His never make any sense. Like he says things like,
gonna kill 2 birds with 67 stones, or you're going to walk off a long bridge with a short bridge. I just mess them all up because I'm always in the moment, and I feel like I'm a little dyslexic, so sometimes the words just don't come out right. I think I'm saying them right, but anyway, your lines are always the best, and I'm always like, man, if I could just be like Captain Lee and just have my zingers. I always think about them after the fact, and that's you're like, oh, I should have said this, or I should have done, you know how it is when you're filming, you're like, oh, I should have done this.
I like this one. Everyone wants to be a captain until it's time to do captain shit.
That's an absolute truism.
You need a merch shirt. That's your merch shirt right there.
as soon as the shit hits the fan and things start to go pear-shaped, they'll say, "Here's your 4 stripes."
Can I ask you to give me a one-liner on 2 different topics? Okay. The first topic I would like to hear something from you about is Scandival. You know, Tom and Ariana. We're all in the Bravo world. So what would be a one-liner from Captain Lee about Scandival? Putting you on the spot here.
Gosh, I think if brains were dynamite, that boy couldn't blow his nose.
Yes.
I love it.
Oh my gosh.
Man, he's just so fast and quick.
Did not disappoint.
Can't wait to see him at BravoCon.
Did not disappoint. Okay, the next one is about Carl and Lindsay. Their big breakup news.
Gosh, that's a tough one because I'm close to both of them. And it's not really a one-liner, I don't suppose. But I guess if it's not meant to be, it's better to find out earlier than later.
Hey, I agree.
Could you imagine if they would have went through this or they would have had kids or whatever? I mean, yeah, it's nobody wants a breakup, but it's, if you're going to do it, now's the time to do it.
It gets really ugly.
Yeah. Like, shoo-wee. If this happened after they got married and it was 2 months after instead of 2 months before, it would have been a whole different situation, So maybe that will be for the good in the long run.
Like I said, it's just important that they found it out early, and everyone's just kind of laying into them. It's their personal business, but, being in the reality world, everybody's got their...
We don't have personal business anymore, do we, Captain Lee?
No, our business is everybody's business.
I want to talk about this little Twitter feud that you and...
Of course, she brings that up. I can't even remember the Twitter feud that you and I had.
That you guys had, where Jax blocked Captain Lee for, I think, no reason.
Yeah, thanks for putting me on the spot, honey. Love you.
I don't even remember what it was.
I don't either.
Oh, you don't remember what it was?
God's honest truth, I honestly don't remember.
Okay.
But then again,
she's about to let us know.
She is. She's going to look it up. I was honestly on a blocking rampage in those days, and I blocked anybody that just even looked at me the wrong way. But... are you looking?
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, you did.
Yeah, and like I said, we squashed it. We squashed it at John's house.
I know, but it's just very funny because I got to read it. It says, "This is Jax. Okay. Listen closely to all of those who like to tweet your bullshit to me." Jax began what appeared to be a message to his hater on Twitter last week. "The day you become perfect is the day you can give me your opinion and advice. Until then, worry about you. Your life will be more fulfilled." And then Captain Lee says... Just wanted to see if I have this right. "You only take advice or listen to opinions of those who are perfect? Well, that certainly narrows the field, doesn't it?" And Jax blocked him just for that comment.
You're not allowed to one-up me. You're not allowed.
Oh, my gosh. I was trying to look it all up, and it was cracking me up. It was, he said something like, "Well, I guess I didn't make the Christmas card list."
Yeah.
Well, I'm not embarrassed at all or anything.
Did you fix that, Jax?
I did. We talked about it at John and John and Chrissy's house. We had a chat about it. It was just a mistake. It was dumb. It was just stupid. It was one of those things where it's just like I was on a Twitter rampage. It was known for blocking people. In fact, I had a whole sweatshirt line made of been blocked by Jax. There's thousands and thousands and thousands of people that I blocked. I don't do much anymore, but yeah,
I've seen some Twitter names.
Blocked by Jax.
Blocked by Jax.
I know. There's a whole there's a whole thing. Yeah, that kind of started. Yeah, it got a little out of hand for a while. I don't do it much anymore. In fact, I don't think I can't remember the last person I blocked.
He's had to grow up a bunch.
I grew up a lot. I went through a little bit of a diva phase where I was kind of like nobody can touch me and I can say whatever I want. But you get older and you'd be like, why do I care? I don't know why I care.
Personally, I think if you block somebody, and there's a lot of justifiable reasons for blocking somebody.
Oh yeah.
The mean, malicious tweets that you see out there that just come at you just out of nowhere.
Yes.
It's just like, I don't have time for this crap.
You're right. And it's always the one, like I've said this before, you'll get like 20,000 great comments and then you'll get one that's that's the one that sticks with you. It's just
and you check the profile and it's like, they have 2 followers.
Right. An egg is a picture.
And that's mom and dad.
Yeah.
and it's always said, like, what does it always say? Church lover, love God, love everybody. Family first.
Yeah, and it's always somebody
Living the world.
Living the world, yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Vegan.
One vicious tweet at a time.
Yeah, seriously. I know there was another time where Jax had said that he would like to bartend on a below deck yacht, and you were kind of like, oh, it'll definitely be entertaining. So I would like to hear from Captain Lee. Do you think Jax could ever handle actually working for you? Be honest.
You want me to be honest?
Yes.
I think I could now. I think in those days, no. I think now, I think I'm a different person now.
Okay,
personally.
well,
we'll get Captain Lee.
Yeah.
I think Jax is 100% right. I think when he was on, you guys were on Vanderpump, and his head was like
couldn't fit through the door.
Couldn't fit through the door.
Yeah, I think that would have been an issue.
Yeah,
but I think now, yeah, no problem at all.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I appreciate that.
I think he'd be a good employee.
Well, I will tell you, Captain Lee.
I'm going to rephrase that.
Yeah,
he'd be a good individual to work with.
Yes,
yeah, thank you.
I don't want to use that word employee because I really like it.
I will tell you that we rented a houseboat. I'm from Kentucky, so we rented a houseboat on Lake Cumberland, and Jax thought he was going to be the captain of our houseboat.
I have been there.
Oh, you've been to Lake Cumberland?
I did a Top Chef show there.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Well, I'm from Kentucky.
On the houseboats.
Oh,
120-foot houseboats.
Oh, yeah. They're a lot of fun.
Oh, but Jax thought he was going to captain it, and he just kept running us into the walls.
Yeah, I ran into the rocks
everything.
Like 3 times.
It was awful.
Just I mean, you know how they're like pontoon boats, basically. They're just oversized pontoon boats.
They're floating double wides.
Right,
Yes,
basically.
yeah, it was,
and like literally just right into the rocks. Boom.
He could not park it. Like definitely could not be a captain.
No, it's a lot harder than it is. I mean, even on a lake. Now, mind you, he's on an ocean. I'm on a lake. Okay, and there's rocks way far away. I still managed to hit him.
Still managed. Could not park the thing. We lost all the power on the last day. Nobody had any clue how to turn anything on. Couldn't flush the toilets. I mean, it was a whole thing.
It was awful.
And this is just us on Lake Cumberland in a houseboat.
And it was 120 degrees out that day, and it was just like
we had to get
awful.
towed back to the dock. So.
I'd love to do it again. I just want to rent. I want to make sure we get like a proper captain on there.
Like Captain Lee.
Yeah.
We're going to make you come to Kentucky with us and see if you'll just have a party
He's a little
with
bit
us.
out of our pay grade.
I would do that with you guys.
Really? I might take you up on that.
That would be absolutely amazing.
Check and see if my license is big enough.
So you've been doing Below Deck for 10 seasons so far. Did that really change your career being on Bravo, or was it already such a huge success before you even started? Because as you said, you've been doing it for so many years.
Well, you have to define, did it change my career as a captain, or did it change my career, period?
Oh, I mean,
that's a great question.
I think it changed my career, period.
Period, yeah.
When I didn't go through the audition process that most people on Bravo go through.
Me either.
I didn't send any audition tapes in or anything like that. I just happened to be in the right place at the right time, and they had an itch they had to have scratched, and I was the back scratcher.
You were. I mean, Below Deck took off. It's got so many different.
Yeah, they're like in so many different countries now, and it's just it has taken off. It really, really has.
I knew after probably season 2 that my life as I knew it prior to that was never going to be the same again.
Do you regret it, any of it, or no?
No.
Change your life for the better, of course, right?
Changed my life for the better, and we've had a lot of fun with it. Marianne, sometimes not so much, but once you get her out of the house, she kind of loosens up a little bit, and she has a good time.
Has she come on any of the trips with you at all over the years?
She did one, and they talked her into being on one of the shows.
How'd that go?
Oh, they screwed the pooch on that one.
Yeah.
She didn't like it.
She didn't like it at all?
Well, she'd had a couple of pops on the plane, but she was nervous.
Yeah.
And the way it was pitched to her, one of the producers came down and we all went out to dinner. And the way he pitched it to her was like, it's not going to be like you think. There's not going to be cameras in your face. You're not going to be mobbed. You're not going to be anything. You won't even know we're there.
Yeah. You should have. Were you laughing when they said that?
Yeah, I said the spider to the fly.
Yeah.
So she's gets there and she's walking down the dock. And before she gets, to the boat, they stop her. Then some guy, starts lifting up the back of her shirt because he's going to mic her up.
Oh,
yeah.
And she said, I haven't been here 5 minutes and already you're molesting me.
Oh, no.
Jeez.
And he says, I just have to get you mic'd up and I have to slip this under your bra. She looked at him and she goes, You're assuming I'm wearing a bra.
And you're like, oh, here we go.
All right, let's just let the games begin.
Right? We're not even off the dock yet.
I know all about that life.
She hadn't even got to the boat yet.
Yeah. And it was our first time ever filming.
Yes.
Yes.
First and last.
Well, she'd been on Watch What Happens Live. She'd been bartender there a couple of times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's pretty outspoken when push comes to shove. If she needs to stand her ground, you can bet your sweet ass she will.
Well, good.
And good for her.
And I stand by her whenever she does, because 99.9% of the time she's right.
That's right. Your wife is always right. I think it's 100% if you ask me.
Yeah, and even if when I'm right, do you really want? But hey, let me ask you this: as
like 1% of 1%.
But let me ask you this: as a
like,
husband,
I'm allowed for 1%.
I've come to realize though, even when I am right, do you really even want to be right? Like, because even if you are right, you're still going to get the hell.
Well, there's
no point.
A lot of times where they'll ask you a question and you go like, I'm not answering that.
Yeah.
Have you lost your mind? I'm answering that.
How long have you been married?
We have been married 48 years, going on 49.
Wow, that's amazing. Congratulations.
Years.
Is there any marriage advice? We've only been married for 4 years now
Together
that you could give us, because you obviously have an amazing relationship.
Marianne and I spend our days and our time, and it's not, when you cover 48, 49 years, there's a lot of ups and downs. There's a lot of mistakes that are going to be made. But when it's all said and done, I wake up in the morning and I go, how can I make her happy?
Oh.
And she does the same thing with me. She would rather do something she doesn't enjoy doing to make me happy and do it with me. And I'm the same way with her. I will go without something that I really want to see that she gets something that she does want.
Wow.
So it's all a compromise.
Wow.
It's a compromise.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But it's knowing when to compromise. Mm-hmm. It can't
you
be.
Hear that, Jax?
Yeah, I'm listening.
It can't be like, look what I gave up for you.
Yeah.
No. Mm-hmm. You have to want to give it.
And not hold things over somebody's head.
If you come to the point where you're doing something and you're going like, all right, I'm going to do it. I just want you to let you know that I don't like it. Well, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
It's not going to work.
Good to know.
And you just have to, and like I said, every day I wake up and how can I put a smile on her face? Because to me, that smile of hers is just what makes me tick.
Oh my gosh. I just love it so much.
It is.
Speaking of your marriage, you go on these like long trips, I'm sure. How do you keep things spicy in your relationship whenever you're gone for so long?
Yeah, I need some advice on that.
Yes. We're only 4 years in, so help us.
4 years in.
8 years total.
We've been together for 8 years.
4 years married.
4 years married.
You've been together 8 years. So
yeah.
You've been, okay. I was going to say, it should be natural.
Yeah.
Everything should be just let it flow.
Yeah, I got to say, I can't believe I'm going to open up about this, but look, I've been slacking a little bit in the romance department in the last month.
Our baby's only 2.
Our baby's 2 years old. We came out of COVID. We had really not a lot going on, right? And I wasn't saying I was depressed, but there was just not a lot going on. And then all of a sudden, things started happening.
Self-confidence might have been
really low. And I feel like I'm the breadwinner, and I felt like I was the breadwinner in the family. I like to take care of my family. I grew up that way, where the man takes care of the woman, the family. That's just how I grew up. So, COVID obviously just took a lot out of me. It took a lot out of my savings. It took a lot of everybody's savings and stuff. So I felt defeated as a man. I just felt very defeated. And there was times where, I had to go to my wife and say, hey, can you cover me this month on this bill or whatever this month? And it just hurt me. I know she has it, and I know we're married, and I know she'll do anything. We'll do anything for each other, but it just hurts a little bit. So I was a little bit in a funk. And then all of a sudden things started happening. Now we're so busy and it's just good again. And I just felt, I don't want to leave this time. I don't want to go back to where I was during COVID. And I feel like I put my marriage a little bit on the back burner.
See, you're gonna have these ups and downs. Mm-hmm. You are definitely going to have them. And Marianne and I have had them where I've had times where when I was working in the mills and stuff, I'd get laid off.
Yeah.
And no money coming in. And I'm proud to say Marianne got up every day and she'd work 8, 10, 12 hours a day cleaning houses, other people's houses, so that we could, continue on.
Right.
And
it's a team.
Exactly.
It is a team. I agree, but I think
there's the point where you have to swallow your pride.
Yeah.
Stick your ego where the sun don't shine and carry on.
Right.
Because what's most important is that you're doing it together with each other and for each other. And sometimes somebody else is going to have, Brittany's going to have to step up to the plate and do what she has to do. You're going to have to step up to the plate at other times and do what you have to do. And then eventually get to the point where Marianne got, and she said, I'm done. She said, I am officially retired.
Yes.
Good for her. She deserves it.
You do things together as a unit.
Right.
You're not, I guess, I don't know how to say it. You're one.
Right.
But sometimes somebody's got to do a little bit more of the heavy lifting than the other.
And there's nothing,
and vice versa.
Right. And there's nothing wrong with that. I just, as you know, I grew up a little differently. I just grew up, my grandfather, worked, and my grandmother stayed home. My father worked, and my mother stayed home. I just, and like I said, my wife is amazing. She's an amazing woman. She's like, listen, if you can't handle this month, I got you this month. I got you this month, or whatever you needed. I just, as a man, sometimes it just hits the ego a little bit. And I'm just so used to that.
That's when, for the sake of you two being together, that's when you got to take that ego.
Yeah, and you're right. You're right. And I have also a problem.
You'll get in the way.
That's what Jack struggled with for years and years and years.
Yeah,
not gonna lie, your ego got the worst of you, and I'm sure you know that.
I had a similar issue. Mine was a friend of mine called me up one day, and he said, I said, why doesn't, and we were talking about a particular guy. I said, why doesn't Tim like me? And he said, he thinks you're arrogant. And I said, arrogant? I said, f*** him.
I love it. I just love your personality.
I know what you feel.
And
I went through that.
And I'm seeking help, and I'm going through and trying to figure it out. But now I feel like we have a little baby. We have a baby boy, and like I said, now
he's a toddler.
We have a toddler.
His name is Cruz. Actually,
Cruz. He's a handsome little boy. But like I said, I'm taking on a lot. I'm a yes man. I say yes to everything. I'm one of those. I have a hard time saying no to people. I like to take on 20 different projects, knowingly that I can't do them, but I take them on anyway. And it's a problem that I have. But now everything's just going, knock on wood, things are going really, really well right now. And I felt like I spread myself a little bit too thin. And where I'm lacking was with my marriage. And I wasn't kind of paying enough attention to Brittany and her needs. And I'm aware of that. And I'm like, you know what? I kind of sat back and I'm like, how can I fix this? Because, it was almost getting to the point where we were like kind of just seeing each other in passing. Like, hey, how are you? Okay, I'm taking the kid and doing this. And then, okay, you're going out to dinner. Okay, it was almost like in passing. And then I was like, we got to stop this because, this is turning into where we're just roommates here, and now we forget that we're married.
I think it's great that you came to that realization
before it got too late.
And not everybody has the humility to admit that.
I think being on reality shows has made us be so open and honest about everything that goes on in our lives. Obviously, we opened that door a long time ago, but yeah, it's just can be kind of crazy sometimes, know.
And I'm working through it. And
I'm pretty honest towards the point of being brutal.
Yeah, but that's why I'm like, I would just love to hear what you think. Like, you didn't know you signed up to be our therapist today, though,
I didn't realize this turned into a therapy session. I think everybody goes through their ebbs and flows and their ups and downs in marriage. And like I said, we're very aware of what's happening, and I caught it. And, obviously I'm trying to fix things a little bit, but it's a good problem to have, when you're working a lot and all these things are starting to come. Now I just got to manage everything. And that's the point that I was getting to. So I'm fixing that.
I think the best thing I could ever tell anyone because we're all in the same industry,
right?
We just get filmed doing different things.
Exactly.
And my advice to anyone that's ever come on board the boat is, if you want to get asked back for a second season, keep your head down, do your job, and be yourself. And stay the away from the Kool-Aid bowl.
Yeah. People try a little too hard when it comes to reality TV. I think being yourself is always what makes it so much more organic and so much more real.
And then as soon as
people
the cameras
can relate.
Come on, soon as the cameras come on, they morph into this monster.
And you look at it and you're like,
yes. Trust me, we've dealt with that.
Yeah, we've dealt with that.
Who are you and what did you do with my buddy?
Yeah, we've dealt with that so many times. I want to know, Captain Lee, what would be one of the craziest stories that has happened on one of your yachts that you're allowed to tell us?
One that sticks out to you, that's.
Because I can only imagine having to deal with all these drunk people and everything else.
And I know you don't like the word employees, but I mean, it could even go to, your staff. Like, was there something that kind of sticks out to you that, you could tell us kind of quickly of?
I've had to let a lot of people go, obviously, over the seasons. Mm-hmm. And some of them I didn't want to let go, very few. But the rest of them, some of them I just thoroughly enjoyed letting go. And I think one of the moments that sticks out in my mind is the hardest thing for me to do was to walk off of the boat when I was injured.
Mm.
Yeah.
And that just, because I don't want this to sound, I hate the term ego, because I've always said, if you're a captain, you check your ego at the dock when you get on board the boat. That's where you leave it.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it's just going to cause you problems. And I didn't come on board after I was injured because it was ego. It was because I made a commitment, and I do my utmost best to fulfill every commitment I make. I keep my word. If I give you my word, then you can take it to the bank and cash it.
Yeah.
It's as good as done.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got down there and I had a conversation with one of the producers, and I said, I'm more of a liability right now than I am an asset. And I said, I'm not doing anybody any good. I said, because my situation is getting worse. I knew it wasn't getting better. And I made a promise to him. And I said, but I promise you, before this season is over, I will be back and I will finish it. And I said, I may not be 100%, but I think my 75 is better than most people's 100.
You're obviously a very hard worker.
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer in it.
Yeah.
That you work smart, but you have to complete what you start. And I started the season and I was determined. And when I came back to Fort Lauderdale, I went straight off the plane, straight into the hospital. And from there, I went straight into physical therapy. And I stayed there for 2.5 weeks and worked 8 hours a day to get to the point where I could walk. And I promised him, I said, I will walk on board the boat. I won't use a crutch. I won't use a cane. Didn't say I wouldn't use it after I got on board. But walking up the gangplank, I was going to do that on my own.
And you did.
And I did.
That's awesome.
And that meant a lot to me. It was a sense of personal pride.
Yeah.
That I kept my word and I did what I said I was going to do, because it's integrity.
Of course.
You have it or you don't. And it may take you a little while to realize how important that is to you. But once you do, it's a big deal. And I just think it's something that more people should pay attention to.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people will definitely look up to that for sure. I know I look up to that. That's amazing. A fun question for you now.
All right, I'm ready for some fun. This heavy shit's got to go.
I know. We're done with that.
If you had to make a crew out of only Bravo celebrities, who would it be?
Wow. So I can go across the whole spectrum?
Yes.
Yeah.
All, old ones, new ones.
How many is that? Would it be 5?
I don't know how many
6?
people know. I mean,
No, we have 9.
9.
Wow. All
yes.
right.
I want to know who you would have.
Well, I would definitely have Kate.
Yes.
Yeah.
We have our new show together, and I've always thought that Kate and I had this chemistry that just worked.
Yeah, she's funny.
She is funny. I like her.
Well, I never had to worry about anything with Kate.
Yeah.
It was like, these people want a white party on a beach with $40 million worth of fireworks, naked dancing ladies, and some flamethrowers, and she'd go, no problem.
I love that.
That's awesome.
And get it done. So it'd definitely be Kate. I would have Eddie or Kelly as the bosun. Eddie, by the way, has got himself firmly entrenched. I'm really proud of him. He's got his unlimited mate's license, and he's since been promoted up to captain.
Oh wow!
Oh wow!
So he's got his 4 stripes, and he's running big, huge tugs out of Baltimore in the Inner Harbor. He's the one that takes those 1,000-foot freighters in and out on his own.
Oh, could never imagine Jax doing that.
No, I love watching it, though. I love watching that stuff. I sit on YouTube and watch that stuff all the time.
Skill. As far as the rest of the crew goes, I would probably select the people that worked the hardest and had the most fun because they really enjoyed their job and what they were doing.
Yeah.
Connie was one of my favorites. Connie was season 2, I think.
Oh, yeah.
And I was totally amazed because when she brought her luggage on board, she brought a sewing machine. In all my years of yachting, nobody's brought a sewing machine.
Did she fix people people that were on the yachts, like clothes and everything? Or what was she doing with her sewing machine?
Not exactly. Connie had a great sense of humor, which I totally appreciate, and I love practical jokes. I really do. I know I probably don't seem like it, but I love practical jokes. So Connie would sit there in the crew mess, and she would watch, because like the doors are always open. Some guy's in his underwear and he's putting his shorts on, getting ready for work, and nobody closes the door.
Yeah.
She would watch, what leg does he always put in first in his shorts? And so she would sneak in after he'd gone to bed, and she'd grab his shorts for the next day, and she would sew the other leg short. So it shut. So he'd put his one leg in, and then he'd try to put the other one in, and it was sewn shut.
So he'd like fall over.
And then he'd fall on his ass. And she'd be sitting out there, and she'd be filming it, and she'd be laughing her ass off.
Oh, I love that.
It was great. And then right when he thought he was over that, he'd slip on his deck shoes, and they'd be filled with like whipped cream or shaving cream.
Oh, so that's fun that everybody would do practical jokes. Like, I love scaring Jax. He is like the biggest scaredy cat ever. So another reason he probably would not be a good
I don't like
employee.
Scary movies. I don't like scary movies. I don't like anything scary. I just don't like it. I mean, I love Halloween, but I don't like being scared.
You and Marianne would get along.
I don't like it. She loves it.
You know what she used to do to me? We had these automatic doors that would open up, and I would be on the outside going to come in. And because you could see outside, but outside you couldn't see into the salon because of the tent.
Yeah.
And so she would get her nose that close to the door. And I'm ready. I'm just walking towards the door. And as soon as it opens, she's just like, ah! It would scare the living hell out of me.
I love doing that to Jax.
Oh, I look like a cat trying to cover it up on a hot tin.
There's another one-liner. I got a question from a fan for you. This is from Madison H2O. Captain Lee, does he ever watch the season back and wish that he had fired someone from something you saw on the show that you didn't know that happened until you watched it back?
Not that I didn't know that happened, but there's one person I regret not firing just on the spot.
Who? Can you spill it? Rocky.
Ooh.
What did she do?
Rocky was the third stew, and I guess you could say she was built for reality TV.
Oh.
Yeah, she's one of those.
And she's been on a few other reality shows, and she finagled her way onto this one.
Mm-hmm.
And then she was a big fan of Leon. I don't know if you remember Chef Leon.
Mm-hmm.
He's the one that, he didn't clean his galley well enough, and we started a fire in the oven because it was so dirty. And Eddie put it out. It was like there was pandemonium going on. Eddie calmly walks up with a fire extinguisher, opens up the door, goes, shuts the door, says, "I'm going back to bed."
Goodness gracious.
And so she got her knickers in a wad about Leon getting fired. He didn't get fired. I offered him the opportunity. I said, "Leon," this isn't working.
Right.
I said, "You were the cause. Somebody was trying to do you a solid by cooking pizza for you and not going down and waking your ass up because you're the chef. So they decided to let you sleep. They decided to go ahead and just slide a pizza into the oven, and it caught fire because your oven was dirty. And then you tried to toss them under the bus." I said, "So why don't we just say that this is your last charter?" Now, mindful, we only have one dinner to go, and the guests are off the boat the next day.
Oh, wow, yeah.
And he goes, "Nope, I'm out of here."
Oh, wow.
I said, this is like Burger King, buddy. You can have it your way. Put his ass on a boat and shipped him out. And then Rocky got her knickers in a wad because you fired my best friend Leon.
Got it.
And she strips down in the Sky Lounge and takes her microphone off and everything, bails over the side.
Like jumped in the water?
Just jumped in the water?
Yeah, bailed in.
Oh, wow.
It was a nice dive. If I was, I'd give her a solid 5.8 out of 6. Yeah.
Wow. Interesting.
And Eddie says, Rocky just jumped overboard. And I said, good.
Oh, gosh. Oh, my goodness.
I meant it. He says she's swimming to another boat. I said, if they pick her up, let's pull the anchor and leave.
Oh my gosh. Well, I've got another question for you from C_B_Norris. What Bravo celebrity would you not want as a guest on your boat? Out of all the Bravo celebrities out there on all different shows, what's one guest that you would not want to have as a guest on your boat?
Sandoval.
Yeah.
And you know what? I don't think it's not because of what he did. It's just kind of the type of person he is. I would agree.
I think it's all combined.
I would agree. You would have your hands full with that one. You would have your hands full.
He did what he did because of the type of person he is.
That's a great way to put it. That's a great way to put it.
Very true.
And that just describes him in a nutshell. All that phony crying bullshit he did at the reunion. I'm like,
I agree.
Save it, pal, for somebody that's going to buy it.
Exactly. I agree.
Jack,
I agree with you. Like I said, I had many conversations with him, and I've had some conversation with him this year. And I said the same thing. I'm just mad how he treated his buddy Tom Schwartz. Now Tom Schwartz is one of my best friends, if not my best friend, and they have a business together. And I just don't agree with how he treated him during this time. And Tom was going through his own personal things with his family. His brothers were in the hospital. His dad was in the hospital. This and that, and he just wasn't.
That's a big load.
It's a big load, and plus they opened a business together. And Tom decided to take off and go on tour with his garage band and leave Tom Schwartz by himself. So I didn't really agree of the way he handled the whole situation. Yes, what he did was wrong, obviously, with the cheating thing and everything like that. And I wasn't going to get into that too much. It's just how he handled the whole situation. He wasn't man enough just to come forward and say, you know what, I effed up, I screwed up, I need to fix this. I know I did some damage to Ariana, but I need to make things right with everybody. They don't have to love me anymore, but I just want to do things the right way from here on out. And he just almost kind of went worse and worse and worse and worse. So I totally that one.
And then you saw what happened with Rachel after it all simmered down.
Right.
Yeah, how she told all the truth about their relationship, and now she's like being on those podcasts with Bethany.
Yeah, that's a whole mess.
Whole thing.
That's a whole mess.
And now he's stooping somebody else.
Yeah.
Yeah, seriously. I met Camille Lamb in the bathroom at Isabel a couple weeks ago. She's so pretty. I talked to her a little bit. I don't know her very well, but she was so nice. And I know she was on season 10 with you. She seemed like a lot of fun.
God, she did cause me some aggravation. Did you see the one part where she brought me my uniform?
And their pants were too little. Is that the part you're talking about?
Everything was too little. I looked like 10 pounds of shit in a 5-pound bag.
I was cracking up just because of you were like, what's wrong with this? And somebody said it shrunk.
I said, look at me. I said, I look like the doughboy.
Somebody said it shrunk, and you were like, shrunk? These aren't even my pants. I thought that was so funny.
Oh, it was terrible. And you have no idea how hard I had to work just to get into those.
And then you had the cameras come in. They're like, look at this.
Oh, yeah. It was funny because they told me that in the control room, nobody had their headphones on. They were all just rolling on the floor laughing. Like, glad I could provide you all for some entertainment.
Well, isn't that a fun part of doing reality TV, though? Like, I know if I get a crew member or a camera guy laughing whenever you're filming, that's like one of the best feelings ever. You're like, yes, I got them to laugh.
Brittany and I the same way. Like, if I can it's not even about getting the audience or anybody else to laugh. I'm trying to get the camera guy to laugh.
Yes.
If I can get the camera guys to laugh, and if I get the producers, I hit a home run.
Yeah, know it. You're like, yes, it's like the best feeling whenever you get the crew to start laughing. Yeah.
I always just try to go for that. I don't care about everybody else. I just try to get the crew to laugh.
Well, we hear that you have a Vegas show coming coming up. Can you tell us a little bit about that and where?
Oh, I am really excited about that. I did it at the urging of my publicist, Alyssa, who was just like, she's the rock in my. I only have I have 4 people that work with me. Mm-hmm. I have my attorney. I have Marianne, my rock. And then I have Alyssa and Samantha. I don't know if it's on it, but most of the people that work with me are women. And they keep me doing what I'm supposed to do properly at the right time. And Alyssa said, I think you should do a one-man show. And I said, God, that scares the hell out of me. She says, no, I think it'll be really, really good. She says, I have a friend that used to be a writer for Julia Roberts.
Oh, cool.
Her name's Thea. And she said, I think we should take a look at it. And I said, what if we do it and nobody shows up? I said, have you thought of that?
That's not going to happen.
She said, won't happen.
I agree. People love you.
Yeah.
And so we went ahead and did it. And we were just going to do a one-off. And we did it here in Hollywood. Well, we did it in Hollywood, Florida at the Hard Rock Casino at the nightclub there.
Oh, yeah.
And I was so nervous. I'm not going to lie. I threw up 3 times before I walked out on stage.
Oh, you were that nervous?
Oh, man.
I was.
It's different doing a live show, when you're used to reality TV because it's right in front of your face.
Yeah, and there's nowhere to hide.
No.
Yeah, it's all on you.
It's just you, and you're sitting there, and everybody's looking. I mean, well, there's nothing else to look at.
Right.
But it went really well. I had a lot of fun after I got over my first probably 10-minute jitters. And then things started to flow, and it felt good. And the audience got into it. And the more the audience got into it, the more relaxed I got. Mm-hmm. So it went really well. And so then when I found out that we were going to do BravoCon in Vegas, I said, wait a minute. I said, I have a friend that has a casino and a resort out there, the Westgate.
Yeah, we stayed there.
Mm-hmm.
And I called up David and I said, David, you got a room I could use on the 2nd? He said, well, isn't that the day before BravoCon? I said, uh-huh.
That's like the perfect time to do it.
Yeah, now you got all your Bravo fans there.
I wanna do my one-man show out there. And he says, I think it's a great idea. He said, so let me know whatever you need and we'll make it happen. And I don't know if you remember who David Siegel is.
Yeah.
They were on, David and Jackie were on season 8, I think. And they had lost their daughter, Victoria, to an overdose. And it had been like 5 years at that point in time when they had lost them. And we talked about it. We shared a lot of stories together, some that you saw on camera, some that you didn't see. Mm-hmm. But it was just, it's a shame that you have to connect with people over something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
But the connection was still there. And we've stayed in touch with each other over the years. And we still do. And out of the blue, I'll just get a phone call from him and say, what are you doing? How's it going? And we have that relationship. And I have the same one with his wife, Jackie, the Queen of Versailles.
The Queen of Versailles, yeah.
And Versailles is monumental.
Oh, yeah.
To say the least. And I had the privilege of touring it. But getting back to the Vegas thing, and so he says, we've got a resort there. We got a casino there. He said, I'd be honored if I could do it there. He said, done.
Very cool.
And so we worked on it, and I will be out there.
Maybe I'll come to your show.
Please do.
Come to your show. Yeah.
So it's going to be Thursday night, November 2nd at the Westgate?
Yes,
awesome.
7:30. And
7:30.
I promise to take very good care of both of you.
All right.
That would be amazing.
We would love that. Well, everybody, make sure you go check it out. What's it called? What's your show called?
Nightcap.
Oh, that's perfect.
That is perfect.
That's a perfect name. Nightcap. I mean, doesn't get any better.
So if you're in Vegas, November 2nd, make sure you check out Nightcap at the Westgate
Ooh, that's a great
resort.
Great merch. Great merch name, too. I'm all about the merch.
Everything that Jack says is always like going back to merch stuff.
I really get into it. Merch is great. It's great extra money.
I've never been a big merch guy either.
Oh, you got to get your...
You got to, because now everybody out there watches reality shows. They all wear their merch while they're watching the shows. It's like the biggest thing now. So they have these big parties, and they wear their merch from their favorite reality star or whatever, their favorite sayings. And you have so many great one-liners. You would make a fortune.
I'm going to have some merch out there.
You gotta do it.
You have to.
Yep.
I went into this whole merch thing kicking and screaming.
Yeah, so do we.
I looked at that.
You get burned sometimes. You get burned, and then you figure out what to do and what not to do. We went in, we got burned our first time too, but now we got back on the track. Yeah, I won't get into it too much on this, but yeah, you learn what to do and what not to do, and who takes advantage of you and whatnot. It's you got to grind it in the beginning, but once it gets going, it kind of just takes care of itself.
I'll tell you what, nothing is more valuable, and I've had the same people with me. Well, Marianne, 48 years.
Yeah.
But the rest of my team I've had with me from like season 3 on, and they're just salt of the earth, and they're not doing it for the money.
Right.
They're doing it because when we get together and we do things like the show, the one show and stuff like that, we have a lot of fun.
Yes, we have an amazing team behind us too. They're like family to us. So I get what you mean. I know what you mean.
Our team's not only our team, but they're our friends. And like I said, they come to all of our kids' events. We go to their kids' events, and it's just we become family. Like I said, they've been in our lives for not as long as you, but over a decade. And like I said, a decade of time is a long time. So.
Yes, it is.
And it's important to have really good, solid people behind you.
It is.
And
especially because once I don't know what either one of you did before you got involved in TV.
I was a Hooters girl.
She was a Hooters girl.
Cool.
Yeah. Have you ever been to Hooters?
I have. In fact, I got to fly on their helicopter at one of the golf tournaments because I was closest to the pin.
Well, I was inducted into the Hooters Hall of Fame, so
she's a big deal in the Hooters world.
Hell yes. Well, that's something to be proud of.
I was bartending and working at restaurants and stuff, and I ended up meeting him.
Don't downplay it. You're a corporate trainer. Don't downplay it.
And I also worked. Have you ever heard of Tin Roof? I think they have them in Florida.
Who's the better bartender?
Me.
This one.
Yes, Jax was known because he was a bartender at Sir, but I was actually a bartender because I worked at places like Hooters and Tin Roof that are like sports bars, and it was very quick. Like we would work like openings, like
football games,
season openers, baseball. So we were always constantly busy. Jax is like sitting there muddling one drink for like 5 minutes and saying he doesn't muddle on Sundays. I was a much better bartender.
Doesn't muddle on Sundays.
That's literally the things that he said.
Marianne actually tended bar at a few of our places that we own because we had some restaurants and some clubs prior to me getting into the yachting world. I had to talk her into tending bar because I didn't have enough money to hire any help. And she said, I'm not doing that. She was very, very shy. And so I had to teach her how to tend bar. And I said, you can't waste time pouring right-handed. I said, you got to pour left-handed.
That's right. You got to do it all.
You grab the gun with your right hand.
Yeah.
I said, but you got to pour left-handed.
Mm-hmm.
Right. In your well, you got to turn all the bottles this way so that they're just ready to pour when you grab them.
Yep.
But that was back in the day. That was 30 years ago, and things have evolved. Oh, what you guys used to do at Sir?
Yeah.
You sit there and go that doesn't work with me.
Well, you know that we're opening a bar.
Yep.
It's called Jax's, and it's going to be open.
Are you really?
Yeah, it's called Jax's in Studio City, and the goal is to franchise them out. My partners want to get one in Tampa. That's the next spot. But yes, our first one, we have our first opening on Friday the 29th. It's our first soft opening, but it's a kind of a sports bar, tavern, bar, lounge. Got a little bit of everything. Really excited about it.
So if you're in LA, you got to let us know so we can have you come to our bar.
Yes.
And we'll treat you there.
Yeah. Love to have you.
That's great for you guys.
Thank
Love
you.
to have you.
Before we go, I want to ask you a couple quick fire questions, if that's okay. So these will be fast answers, whatever comes to your mind. You ready?
Oh my God.
They're easy.
You want to do this?
They're easy.
It can be dangerous.
If you could be on any other reality TV show, what would it be and why?
Deadliest Catch.
Ooh,
oh
good
gosh,
one.
yes.
Because I would love to work with Captain Wild Bill.
Yeah.
I've met him. interacted with him before.
Yeah, me too.
And I would just want to see if I'm man enough to handle it.
Same.
It looks so hard.
Yeah,
so hard.
I've been to those. I've seen the boats that docked. I've been in Oregon where they docked them. It's awesome. Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
Next question.
Deadly as catch.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Sign me up.
Who is your favorite reality star of all time?
Of all time.
It could be any show.
The first reality TV show. And I don't know, you guys might remember this guy, Alan Funt.
What show is this?
Candid Camera.
Candid Camera? I remember Candid Camera. I don't remember the gentleman's name, but I do remember Candid Camera. Wow, that's
Alan
old.
Funt. And it is old school.
That's an old school show.
They would just go out on the streets
Yep.
and film people that had no clue they were being filmed.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Camera,
You're on
remember?
Candid Camera.
You're on Candid Camera.
Wild situations.
Yeah.
Wow.
And they would let it go to a point and then go like, smile.
Yeah, they would get you. That's a great answer.
Well, you're on Candid Camera. I've not thought about that in a long
All
time.
right, who is
It's
your
old school, yeah.
your least favorite reality star of all time? Least.
God, do we have to keep going back to this?
I know. I kind of have an idea who it is. So, what actor would you want to play you in a movie?
Gosh.
I already have it in my head, just because I like The Hunt for Red October.
Yeah. And I've been accused of looking bearing a resemblance to Sean Connery.
Sean Connery.
Absolutely. I don't know. I think he epitomizes, especially in all the roles that he's played, everything that I stand for.
Yep. That's exactly what I said it too.
Everything that I aspire to be.
You know, I'm going to be doing Watch What Happens Live in the next couple weeks here. I'm going to make sure I tell Andy you said hello, and make sure I tell him that we had this podcast. But I just want to say thank you so much, much for being on today. And kind of, I've learned a couple things, and I really, really appreciate it. It was turned into a little bit of a therapy session, which I really needed and enjoyed. I know my wife is very happy that you're on.
Yes.
She's been grinning ear to ear since we found out that you were going to be on the show.
This is the first time you and I have ever been face to face.
Oh, I know. So thank you so much. I was so excited to do this interview, and I was so excited to talk about your little Twitter feud and stuff.
But anyway, I just want to say thank you so much for being on here again. And I know you're a busy guy, and
Jax,
please.
It's been a privilege.
Oh,
it really has for me to be on your podcast.
I'm honored.
Yes, thanks for coming on. We had so much fun with you.
And our next trip to Florida, we're going to visit you.
Yeah.
At least you could take us out to a nice seafood dinner. All I want to do is eat seafood dinners in Florida. Like I like the fried shrimp places, and we love all those places in Florida. It's our favorite thing to do is just go eat seafood places in Florida.
There is. We've got it all. As far as I'm concerned, in Florida, we got it all.
I know you do. And hopefully I can get Jax's down there. Jax's Tampa.
We actually have an ocean. We have an ocean we can use.
Yeah, seriously. I was just in Cabo, and you cannot even get in the water there. It's insane.
You know what's something really funny? I've lived here since 2005. I've been in the ocean maybe 3 times. Maybe 3. I won't get in it.
And you were dressed up like a seal.
Yes. Yeah. I won't get in. I won't get in the water here. No way. But anyway, I won't keep you. I just want to say thank you again, and hopefully we'll be seeing you soon.
Yes. Thank you so much. Thanks to everybody for tuning in to When Reality Hits with Jax and Brittany.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Are you feeling stuck in your career or lacking employment at the moment? Experiencing symptoms of job dissatisfaction? You might be suffering from a common condition known as career stagnation. But don't worry, there's a solution. Monster.com. Monster.com offers a comprehensive suite of career-boosting tools designed just for you. Our free resume review and AI interview prep tool will help you stand out from the crowd. Need more guidance? Dive into our career advice articles for expert tips and insights. And don't forget to check out our salary tools to ensure you're getting paid what you're worth. Side effects may include a new job, increased confidence, and a brighter future. Consult Monster.com today and take the first step towards your new career. Ready for your next job opportunity? Visit Monster.com now.